What's going on YouTube? JT is Reborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And in this video, we're going to be talking about Justice League Road to Dark Crisis issue number 1. So this is the beginning of the whole Dark Crisis event, which was set up after the events of Justice League issue number 75, the whole Death of the Justice League thing. But Dark Crisis is going to be an event that's going to be going on from now, which started yesterday, end of May, all the way into December. So it's going to be a couple months. I looked it up. There's about like 21 to 23 issues, I think. There's a whole checklist thing that they posted a while back. So I posted that on my community tab. I do plan on covering every single issue. At least there's not as many issues as there were in the Fear State tie-in event. Because the Fear State event was so unnecessarily long with so many issues that didn't really tie into the thing at all. So that was entirely misleading. But this thing, I do feel like since it's dealing with the entirety of the DC universe, it'll probably be something kind of similar to what went on with the original Dark Knight's Metal, with everything kind of tying into it and so on and so forth. So, yeah. Also, I do want to apologize if I accidentally gloss over plot elements or if I kind of miss something, because this is dealing with the entirety of the DC universe and I'm not really reading every single title that's going on out there, because it's just, it just gets a little expensive trying to read every comic book, and there's just so much out there. I've been trying to focus on all the Batman stuff, and that's just ridiculous in general to kind of keep up with, but I am reading subtitles and trying to keep up and get an idea of everything that's going on in this thing. But like I said, Dark Crisis will hopefully be a little bit easier to follow. So let's get to this. Also, if you want to check it out, check out my Shadow War video that I just posted yesterday, because that also leads directly into Dark Crisis. So in a way, that's kind of the prelude. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started on this thing. Justice League Road to Dark Crisis number 1. In my personal opinion, this issue felt like more of a cash grab than anything that's entirely necessary to read before starting Dark Crisis. I feel like all the important information will probably be in issue 1 of Dark Crisis, and this is just kind of a prelude, kind of dealing with the after effects of the Justice League seemingly being gone. Even like there's kind of a little bit of like some meta commentary going on here about how characters just kind of die and then just come back like time and time again. I wouldn't really worry about it, because Nightwing kind of says that to John in the first storyline by Joshua Williamson and with the art by Dan Jurgens and all that. He's like, yeah, we dealt with this stuff before. I just got to keep, hope and all that other stuff. So, like I said, even death, like I said, has almost kind of become a little bit meaningless in DC Comics, because you got all these characters coming back, you have the Lazarus resin, and all that other stuff kind of going on here. So let's go ahead and cover the issues. I'll briefly kind of summarize what's going on with it, and so on and so forth. So the first issue is a Nightwing and Superman team-up. This one's written by Joshua Williamson with art by Dan Jurgens. And I gotta say, the artwork is nice and classic, but my only real complaint about it is that Dick and John look almost identical. John does not look like his teenage self. He looks like he's like late 20s, early 30s at this point. Dick obviously is, but yeah, so that, like I said, it's just kind of a conversation between the two characters and like how they're both going to have to step up. Nightwing's going to speak at the vigil for the death of the Justice League. Let's go ahead and go over the story credits really quickly too, because this is an anthology thing. So the first one's Team Up by Joshua Williamson and Dan Jurgens. Honestly, between the two characters, like I said, stuff we've kind of gotten before in the Tom Taylor Superman Son of Kal-El thing with John looking up to Nightwing. Although I do think this was handled a lot better, much less creepy. And not superly overly jokey per se. It was handled a lot stronger than what was going on in Son of Kal-El. So there's that. Then we have Life of Purpose, written by Jeremy Adams with art by Rosie Comp. Then we have Survivors by Chuck Brown and Fico Asio. Then we have The Pariah, written by Philip Kennedy Johnson, with Leila De Luca on art and Jordi Belair on colors. Sebastian Chang did colors for Survivors. Like I said, the credits right there. And then lastly, we have Because the Night, written by Stephanie Phillips, with art by Clayton Henry and colors by Marcelo Maiello. Okay. And then letters by all these other credits here. So yeah, like I said, there's a lot kind of going on in this particular issue. So there we go. That was the first thing. Like I said, it's just a conversation. The next one is just, like I said, another, just more characters kind of dealing with the aftermath of the Justice League. Like, a lot of this just feels like stuff will probably just pick up in Dark Crisis number 1. Doesn't feel entirely necessary. I like the team up between Wally and Wallace. Basically, it's just about them having to step up and dealing with the repercussions of the Justice League dying. They stop her, and then, like I said, there's not much else that really happens. And then just you have Wally just kind of mourning Barry, and yeah, like I said, that's it's not all that necessary, I feel like. It just kind of feels like some bits filler. Then we have this one where probably is my favorite bit of art within the whole thing. This is the Green Lantern. Hal Jordan and Jackson Hyde team up with some sort of alien that kind of comes down into Atlantis infected by some sort of parasite. And this is where Hal is just kind of confused, like, hello, Justice League, I got some shit coming in. Is anybody here to help me? And then Jackson ultimately tells him that the Justice League is gone. And then Hal's like, I got to kind of get to the bottom of this thing. And we get a little bit of a team up. I kind of like this one probably the most of the bunch. Like I said, the artwork is really, really cool. The colors really pop. And it was just, you know, a team up that I'm not really used to seeing. So I like that aspect of it. And like I said, this is Hal finding out about the death of the Justice League. So it feels like, you know, more or less something is kind of happening here. So I appreciated that about the issue. Then we have this one about the Pariah. This is by the Philip Kennedy Johnson. Like I said, the art changes styles. Although a little bit of a confusing thing. Sometimes I wish they would put like the story credits like right at the start here so you know which issue you're going in. But this is kind of Pariah. I guess it's a bit of a flashback here, right here, before the fall of the Justice League. Okay, so this goes in a little bit of the backstory of Pariah and how he's kind of like he's a character in the original Crisis on Infinite Earths a while back, doomed to watch, you know, the multiverse and that all die and all sorts of other stuff. If you want more information about that, probably best to just look it up. Like I said, when you get to the more cosmic stuff, and just, you know, events from years past and trying to remember every detail and all that, it gets a little bit confusing sometimes. But anyways, so with Pariah, like, we see other people around him infected with the Great Darkness, and I guess that's going to be what caused him to kind of go a little bit crazy. I believe, was it in Justice League Incarnate, or was it Death of Justice League number 75? So that's kind of like his backstory and motivation kind of going on there. So like I said, he seems to be infected. This is kind of where he got infected and manipulated by the Great Darkness. So he kind of wanted to end his own life. He's just, you know, he's kind of tired of the same thing. He's like, I caused so many problems, yada, yada, yada. You get the idea about that. So that one at least has a little bit of backstory there. Then this other one, like I said, felt a little bit kind of pointless too. Unless, of course, it's really going to lead to something big. Like I said, this whole issue didn't really feel necessary. I felt like all the information we really need is going to be in Dark Crisis number 1. But if you want more information, this is just Nocturna. She's in Gotham City. We get flashbacks to her and her time with Batman. She tries to steal something. Like I said, there's a bit of a black hole there. And then Stephanie Brown, Batgirl, shows up. Like I said, this is the one written by Stephanie Phillips. And, you know, Stephanie is written a lot more mature in this thing than she is in the Batgirl's book that I've talked about. Like, it feels like a completely different character. So there's another thing I have issues with DC right now, is a lot of their titles feel so out of place in terms of the same continuity. Like I said, I'm actually surprised this one was written a little bit more mature, given how Stephanie Phillips kind of writes the Harley Quinn stuff. It's a lot more lighthearted. This one felt like it had a lot more weight, and I appreciated like Steph being a little bit more mature this time around than she is in the Batgirl's book, because in the Batgirl's book, she feels like a giddy preteen. So, like I said, very distinctly different writing style and choices. I mean, if this is a cohesive universe, I feel like they should line up just a little bit more, but that's just me. So yeah, like I said, Nocturne is there. She kind of somebody who's kind of lost like the will of the whole crime thing. And also, I'm not sure if this is the same one that's in that whole Suicide Squad book, which I've kind of read a few issues of, kind of glanced, but I believe she was in a relationship with somebody. Was it Superboy? Was it that Matches character? Like I said, I can't quite remember. But I guess this is a different one in this universe. I don't exactly know. But the point being is she seemingly is recruited by like the Secret Society or whatever, villains, by Firefly and everything, to kind of do bad things. So it says to be continued in Dark Crisis number 1. So and as you can see, you have a variety of different characters here whose names are mostly kind of escaping me at this point. If I don't see the character that often, I kind of forget who's who. But so yeah, like I said, Firefly is there. It kind of sets up that she's going to have a role in this thing. Not sure how big her role is going to be in the book, but there you have it. So out of the issues, I think the story I liked the most in terms of the art was the Jackson Hyde Green Lantern one. Like, look at this one, and the colors and everything just pop really well. And because, like I said, it's Hal finding out that all, you know, his friends are seemingly gone or dead. So you got that to factor into it. And now I have a dog barking while I'm trying to record this thing. So there you have that. But anyways, so Justice League Road to Dark Crisis number 1 didn't feel 100% entirely necessary. I feel like all the information you need is going to be in Dark Crisis issue number 1, and this is just kind of a little bit of a cash grab issue. The only real important information I feel like you kind of needed Maybe a little bit of Pariah's backstory, which I'm sure is just going to get covered in Dark Crisis anyways. And then Hal finding out about the death of Justice League. The other stuff, I'm like not sure the purpose of the Flash story was, other than to show that, you know, things that we've kind of seen in the past already, like, oh, Barry's gone again and heroes are gone. We're just going to have to step up. Nightwing and John, cool to see them team up, I guess. But stuff, you know, we're going to end up seeing in the next issue anyways. So there you have it. Like I said, feels like a bit of a cash grab. Don't think it's entirely necessary to read. The only interesting thing I felt like I said, I like the crossover with Jackson Hyde and Green Lantern because that was something I'm not used to seeing. And it is interesting to see that Hal is like the only Green Lantern left, which I think is cool. Give Hal something cool to do. But yeah, so I wasn't like a huge fan of this thing. I wasn't like a huge detractor of it all. I just think it's more of a cash grab than, you know, anything substantial you need to read for the Dark Crisis event. So those are my thoughts on it. Let me know what you thought of it in the comments section down below. If you like this video, share it with your friends. Subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content. Hit that bell for notifications. I do have like 2 more comic book reviews I kind of want to get out this week, just kind of catching up on some on a title I promised to cover, which is The World's Finest Thing. But in terms of the new stuff, this should be it for right now. And then look forward to covering all the whole entire Dark Crisis event as it kind of comes out each and every month. So look forward to that. All right, well, that's all I got to say. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Really appreciate it. As always, take care now. Bye-bye then, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.